Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of the Seattle Mariners franchise here on MLB The Show 23. We're back here in the ALCS with just game number 5 today. And the reason is because if the Mariners lose today, they will be eliminated from the postseason. The Blue Jays lead the series 3-1, and with elimination games the rest of the way, we're going to do one game per episode until we see what happens. Here's a look at the recap of the series so far. Toronto won the first 3, but Seattle did battle back, and they did win game 4 yesterday. So if you're excited for game number 5, and hopefully keep this series going, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. Luis Castillo is going to get the nod on the mound today in short notice, and he will begin the day against Bo Bichette, and he will get him to strike out looking. No changes with the Toronto Blue Jays lineup today, the same as we've seen against righties. As the next batter is Santiago Espinal. What a play over there in foul territory. That's Evan White getting the start at first base. He lays out. That's the kind of plays you need to make if you want to make it and keep this series going. That's going to end the inning. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will ground out, so 1-2-3 inning for Castillo. And then the Blue Jays, they'll trot out Mitch White for the first time this postseason. He made 18 starts in the regular season and posted a 4.08 ERA. Dylan Moore will lead off for the Mariners as he will sky up an 0-1 pitch into the outfield, and this one will be caught for the first out of the inning. We'll take a look at the Mariners lineup. A slight change, as you'll see Colton Wong is back in there. He has missed both games 3 and 4 with an injury. He's back in. He'll start at second base, so no Robinson Cano in the lineup, who has really struggled so far this season. The rest of the starters are the same as, like we said, Evan White over at first. J.P. Crawford up next. He takes a 2-1 fastball, and he'll slap this one through the left side of the infield into left, and that'll be a 1-out hit. Ty France up next, hitting a very low 138 for his standards, and this isn't going to help. A curveball he times up well, but grounds it into a 6-4-3 double play. We'll stay with Mariners, though, bottom 2. Here's J-Rod, who's been our best hitter in the postseason at the plate. He turns on the first fastball, and he hits it high and deep to left field, but it's going to be caught for the first out of the inning, allowed out number 1. Teoscar Hernandez up next, 2-1 pitch, and he rips a fastball into left field. A rocket off of the bat of the former Blue Jay. And that is a solo shot for Teoscar Hernandez. Gets the scoring started. His second home run of the postseason. That was an absolute missile off of the bat. 387 into the left. And that's the life the Seattle Mariners team needs as they take a 1-0 lead. Next up is A.J. Pollock, 214 in the postseason for him. This is going to help. 1-0 fastball that's right over the middle, ripped into left field. So now runner on first for Cal Raleigh. He gets a 1-1 pitch and golfs a fastball. Another deep hit out to left field. But at the track is Varsho, and he has enough space to make the grabs. Mariners have made some pretty solid contact so far early in this game. Colton Wong up next. Hits a curveball over to second, and that will end the inning. The Mariners take the lead. We'll go top 3 now, see if Toronto can answer, and Matt Chapman's going to lead off the inning by taking a 3-2 pitch into the left center gap, and the Silver Slugger has himself a leadoff double. So just like that, the Blue Jays answer with a runner in scoring position of their own. That'll bring up Dalton Varsho up next, so 1 pitch. It's a grounder over to first. It'll be an out, but it will move Chapman up to third base. 9-hitter Whit Merrifield up next. He's going to hit this one into center right at Julio. And Julio's going to come up firing. Chapman's going to be at the plate, and the throw is not in time. And the Blue Jays tie it up at 1 apiece off the sac fly by Whit Merrifield. Bichette up next with in strikeout on the inside fastball. So after 2.5, we're all knotted up at 1 apiece. We'll stay with the Blue Jays top 5 as here's Danny Jansen at the plate, and he will start the inning with a fly out into left center. Castillo on a little bit of short rest. He's not fully healthy or fully energized, has done pretty well today. As then he gets Cedric Mullins to pop out into left field as well. That's a quick 2 outs for Castillo. Next up, Matt Chapman, 1 for 1 on the day, and he drives a fastball into right center field, and this one's going to clear the wall. Just makes it over, and that's the 3rd home run of the postseason for Matt Chapman, and the Blue Jays have taken the lead. They lead 2-1. We've already seen 2 games this series end by a score of 2-1. Hopefully we don't see a third here. So Dalton Varsho up next. He's going to swing and miss. So Castillo goes 5 with 2 earned runs. We'll go bottom 5, see if the Mariners can answer here as A.J. Pollock looks at strike 3. Fastball clips the inside part of the plate. That's the second strikeout of the day for Mitch White. That'll bring up the catcher, Cal Raleigh. He's only hitting 160 this postseason, but he's got an OPS of 820, so when he does get hits, they matter. This isn't a OPS helping hits, as that is just a single into left, but it does get us a runner on base. And I'll bring up Colton Wong up next. Full count pitch to him, and he rips the slider past the diving glove of Guerrero out there at first, and that one's going to roll all the way to the wall. That's going to be a one-out double for Wong. They will not wave Cal home, probably the wise decision. But now 2 runners in scoring position. Evan White up next, hits a fastball. He hits it out into right field. It will be caught. Springer comes up firing, and they do not test the arm. So, didn't go deep enough. Pause. Is now one more hit. We need to put the ball on the ground in order to score this run. Moore will get hit, so it's bases loaded. 2 outs for J.P. Crawford, who did single back in the first. A massive spot in this game, and Crawford's going to swing at the first pitch. A slider below the zone and ground out. A major missed opportunity there for the M's. We'll go into the 6th now. Yency Almonte will come in relief of Luis Castillo, who's not looked very good this postseason. His first batter is Whit Merrifield, who will get him to chop it on a one-hopper over to Evan White, who will tag the base. Top of the lineup, Bo Bichette up next. He chops this one over to third. Moore stabs at it, and this is going to be a close play. It just gets the throw. So 2 down now. Santiago Espinal up next. Chops this one down the first base line, and Evan White can't put a glove on it. So that'll be a 2-out single for the Toronto second baseman. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. up next. He swings and misses on a slider running away, and Almonte gets through the 6th. He'll go into the 7th inning as well, but George Springer will begin the inning with hitting this one deep into left center, and it's going to one-hop off the wall. A leadoff double for the Toronto right fielder, and this is not a good spot. Danny Jansen up next, hitless on the day, but not anymore. Hits this one into center field. Wong couldn't get a glove on it, and that's going to be an RBI single for Jansen. Blue Jays push their lead now out 3-1. Still nobody out in the inning. Cedric Mullins up next, pops up a slider, easy play for Cal Raleigh, and there is the first out of the 7th. Chapman up next, 2 for 2, having himself a great day. Pops this one up into foul territory, and this will make him 2 for 3. So runner still on first base. This Dalton Varsho up next, and he's going to rip this one down the third base line and fair. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. Pollock is able to get to it. He gets the ball in, but it's a horrendous throw that the catcher has to come out and get, and that's going to allow another run to score. So Pollock, with not an error, but I would consider it one, leads to another run. The Blue Jays now lead by 3. Almonte is then pulled from the game for all-star reliever Penn Murphy, who has not had the best postseason, but he does get the final out of the inning as Merrifield will fly out, but the Blue Jays now lead by 3 with 3 innings to go. After the 7th inning stretch, Adam Sinber, the underhanded righty, will come out in relief for the Blue Jays. He'll begin the 7th against Cal Raleigh, who did single in his last at-bat. He chops a 2-2 fastball over there to Espinal at second, and that'll be a routine play to begin the inning. A hitter, Colton Wong, up next, 1-2 pitch. This one's also a soft one-hopper over to first. That's a quick 2 down, and that's the 9-hole hitter, which is usually Evan White, but Sam Haggerty will come out in pinch hit for our first baseman. 1-2 pitch, and he chops this one over to a fellow first baseman, M. Guerrero Jr. That'll be the end of the 7th. Haggerty will stay in the game. He'll move over to third, and then Dylan Moore will swap and go to first. Murphy stays in for the 8th as well. He walks Bo Bichette to begin, and then gives up a single up the middle to Santiago Espinal. So Murphy will only last 2 batters here in the 8th. He will be pulled in favor of Matt Brash, making his 2nd postseason appearance. He went 2/3 in his first one, struck out 2 batters, a solid showing. He's going to be tasked with stranding these 2 runners as on the first pitch. They're trying to double a hit and run that doesn't work out. An easy out there at third. Thank you very much, Toronto, as that's the first out of the inning. Later at the at-bat, Guerrero will then dribble one over to Haggerty at third, who makes the play at first, and that's now 2 down, but a runner on third. George Springer up next. 1-2 pitch, pops up a slider, and Brash gets it done. He strands the runners, gets through the 8th, but now we got to start getting something going. This is a very good man to do it against. Yimi Garcia, who we destroyed for 2 earned runs in game number 4, and he didn't record a single out. He'll begin this game against Dylan Moore and finally gets his first out of the postseason. Strikes him out on the low slider. J.P. Crawford up next, gets jammed on an inside slider. Easy play for Guerrero, and Garcia comes out of this game firing pretty well. Ty France up next, 2-2 pitch, and he'll single up the middle. Finally, Ty France gives himself a base hit. It has been a very cold postseason for him. So he's on first for Julio Rodriguez, who gets a fastball right down the middle, and J-Rod's going to make you pay. This one's deep into the right center gap. It's going to go up against the wall. Some trouble out there for Mullins with it, and that's going to allow Rodriguez to get all the way to third in an RBI triple. So Seattle still in this ball game. Rodriguez is at third for Teoscar Hernandez, who's already homered once today. The Blue Jays recognize the situation. They're already going to turn it over to Jordan Romano and try to get a 4-out save. He strikes out Teoscar Hernandez. Fastball apparently clips the plate. Not a good call if you ask me. And that ends the 8th. You can see the look on the dugout. Not a good one. Go into the top of the 9th where Paul Sewald will come in relief. He's tasked with keeping this a 2-run deficit. His first batter is Danny Jansen, and he'll swing and miss on the full count slider. Nice pitch there by Sewald. Cedric Mullins up next. He suffers the same fate, striking out this time on a high outside fastball. So 2 quick ones for Matt Chapman, who then hits this one over to third, but Haggerty with a great play over there at third ends the inning. Good defense by Sam, but now we need to get those 2 runs. Romano will obviously stay in the game. He was the pitcher with the most saves in the regular season, hasn't blown a save yet. He strikes out Pollock to begin the inning. Cal Raleigh up next, 1 for 3 on the day. He's going to make it 1 for 4. A loud fly out to left field at the track, which means the Mariners' postseason run lies in the hands of Colton Wong. He is 1 for 3 on the day, doubled back in the 5th. 1-0 pitch to Wong. Romano deals. Fastball hit into right center. That'll touch grass for a base hit. And the Mariners stay alive. And now the tying run is at the plate. Is Sam Haggerty. He had the great defensive play in the top half of the inning. 0-2. He strikes out on the low slider. And that'll do it. The Toronto Blue Jays win the pennant. They are your 2023 American League champions. And we'll go to the postseason, go to the World Series for the first time in 30 years. For the Mariners, it's over. The season is over. After winning over 100 games, they get knocked down in 5, and we have another series where I lose in the ALCS. It's a tough one to take, man. This could be the last game of the series, and as we get eliminated from the playoffs, the Blue Jays knock us out and are heading to the final series. Now the question is now, who will the Blue Jays be facing in the World Series? The Padres hold a 3-2 lead over the Dodgers, and in Game 6, they beat the Dodgers 3-2 in another extra inning game. This has been a classic of a series, which means San Diego will be meeting the Toronto Blue Jays in the World Series. As far as this series goes, our YouTube series, I don't know if this will continue past this year, so we could just watch the Mariners play their final game of the series. If you want to see the series continue into a year 2, I haven't fully decided yet. I know it's crunch time, and I want to be done with this game when MLB The Show 24 comes out. So I don't know if I'll have enough really time to go into an in-depth series with Season 2. I'm open to it, but again, I'm still going to try to make up my mind. I did run a survey a couple weeks ago, and the split, I mean, it's kind of down the middle in terms of like if somebody will watch a year 1 or a year 2 of this series. So I haven't fully decided. But I do know for sure we will be having another episode, another 2 episodes in this series. Next episode will actually focus on the World Series. We'll see who ends up winning the Fall Classic between the Blue Jays and the Padres. And then we'll have a season recap, which could be the series finale. So let me know in the comment section below what you thought of this series. Sorry we cannot make it to the World Series. We're still hunting for our first World Series berth here on the channel. But if you guys enjoyed this episode, if you did, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.